Hey, it's Brian Soscia. Thanks again for being with us here. And don't forget to press that subscribe button for our YouTube channel. Always updating with exclusive content. Or you can follow me at TheBrianSoscia on Twitter. Today, I'm honored to have this guy on promoting WrestleMania, which is this Sunday, the world premiere on NBC, August 3rd, 2014. You can watch at 7 o'clock. The Immortal One himself, Hulk Hogan. What's going on, Hulk?
What up, B-Mania?
What's up, man? A lot of stuff with your career. There's so much to cover. I know you don't have a lot of time. You got to get to the gym. Yeah, I know how it works. But, I have to ask you. Before you got to Mania, you had to start somewhere. Hulkamania had to begin somewhere. Do you remember the first time you saw wrestling? What was your first wrestling memory, Hulk?
Dude, I grew up in Tampa, Florida. Huge wrestling fan. I mean, watched it every weekend. I got hooked as a kid. And then when my dad took me to the first match, and I felt that energy, I said, not that I thought I could do it, but I said, you know what? I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to be a fan. And back in the day, all the wrestlers with the cauliflower ears and the teeth knocked out and the bleached blonde hair, we were scared to death of them.
Yeah.
So that was my first memory is Dad taking me to the matches when I was about 9 years old. I fell in love with it.
Do you remember the first guy you looked up to?
Oh, yeah. The first guy that really, 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 really hooked me to where I couldn't live without seeing him on TV every week was Dusty Rhodes.
Of course. That's a great guy to look up to, especially back then, man, to learn from and stuff. And you don't even know what you're learning. And I'm sure if you've ever told Dusty that, he probably tells everybody that'll listen. I mean, I would too.
Oh, I've told him he was the reason. Well, Dusty Rhodes was the main reason, and then another guy kind of pushed me over the edge, a guy named Superstar Billy Graham. But Dusty Rhodes was the main reason I wanted to be a wrestler.
That's some high praise. And if you look at both of those guys, especially Superstar Billy Graham, they're all about the spectacle. They love the spectacle, and that's what's important in professional wrestling. And if you look at WrestleMania, since that's what we're kind of talking about today, that's it, the spectacle. And a huge part of that is your ring entrances and different wrestlers' ring entrances. Now, with your ring entrances, you've had a lot of different cool theme songs from, I don't know, Eye of the Tiger to Real American to American Made in your WCW days, Voodoo Child. What was your favorite one to kind of walk out to, and how involved were you with picking these theme songs?
Well, American Made was, without a doubt, my favorite one. That was Jimmy Hart and I basically had an opportunity to grab that song from Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo.
Yeah, I remember that.
They were tag team from the 80s, and George Scott had that music with them, and, man, we snatched it right up when they kind of went different ways. So Jimmy Hart and I grabbed that music. The other one, that was Real American Made. Jimmy Hart wrote that song, and that was kind of like a transition piece. I used that when I wasn't with WWE at the time. And then Voodoo Child, that was Shane McMahon.
Really?
When I turned into a bad guy, Shane McMahon he had suggested that song. That was his brainchild. And, Eye of the Tiger, we started out with that, but then Scotty Brothers wouldn't give us the rights to use the song.
So, Hulk, throughout your career, another big part, of course, of your entrances was ripping the shirt off. I mean, that's iconic with you. Maybe that came from the Incredible Hulk, but do you happen to remember it? It might be a while ago, but try to take yourself back. Do you remember the first time you did that, and was that your idea to do? I mean, how did you come up with that?
Well, I started doing it in Minnesota because of the Incredible Hulk, like you said, was rip his clothes off on TV. So, if you're Hulk Hogan, you rip your shirt off. But I transitioned into that because before I was in Minnesota, I was in the WWE working for Vince McMahon Sr., and they had bought me this cape that was like the Grand Ole Opry or one of those big movie companies, one of those big production companies, on Broadway, and made this big cape, and it was like something that would hang in the Helmsley Palace in the dining room. It was like a heavy curtain. And I remember I used to try to drag it around. I used to have to carry an extra bag on the plane. The thing weighed about 30 pounds. And I just get tired of carrying the cape around, so I switched to T-shirts, But I remember the transition when I first lost the cape to T-shirts. It was quite controversial.
Well, obviously it worked out great for you. But my next thing's with the ripping of the shirt. I know if that was like my thing, my gimmick, I know at least once when I was with a woman, spending some intimate time, I'd probably rip my shirt off for her. It would have to be done. Did you ever do that? I'm going to call you a liar if you say you didn't.
No, you got it all backwards, bro. You talk her into ripping her shirt off, not yours.
Good call. Did you ever have a split second? All the kids try to rip their shirt off, be like you. Did you ever have a split second where you're like, oh, man, this thing's not going to rip? I know you're strong, but that's hard.
No, it worked out great because they'd rip the shirts and then they'd make their parents buy them another one before they left the building. So it was
brilliant marketing.
It worked.
Brilliant
worked out
marketing.
great.
I love it. So the other thing that's iconic with you, in my opinion, is the Fu Manchu that you have. That thing's amazing. And I think that you may have shaved that one time, if I can remember, maybe in WCW. Why would you shave the Fu Manchu? I feel like you've had that since you were born.
Yeah, I had it since I was dating this girl in high school that liked guys with mustaches. So I grew it for her, and I never shaved it off. And then I was doing a couple movies where I think I played Dave Dragon in Three Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain, and then I had another movie where I was, I can't remember what it was. I think the Ultimate Weapon. No, it wasn't the Ultimate Weapon. There was another movie I did where I had to shave it off, but the only time I shaved it off was to do a couple of movies.
Damn, man, you got to keep that thing, man. That's, like I said, iconic. So now, as far as you as a performer, I've heard Ric Flair talk about losing confidence in himself. And as a performer, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but confidence is a huge key in what you guys do. Now, around 1994, when you came into WCW, you were still the Hulk Hogan brand. You've said this before. People still loved you, but things were changing in the world. Were you shocked the way things were changing as far as fan reactions before you made the leap to the NWO?
No, I knew that, you had to reinvent yourself, and I was so well established, I knew eventually there'd be some haters,
Yeah, it always is.
And it started getting to the point where people were getting tired of seeing the shirt torn off and the normal, ear thing, and I got it. It was, we're going on 15, 16, 17, I don't know, however many years, and I just said, I talked to Vince McMahon earlier in my career about being a bad guy, and the timing wasn't right,
Mm-hmm.
And the timing was right. And, man, when I made the switch, holy smokes, it relit my career. It changed the way people looked at wrestling. It changed the way fans looked at good guys and bad guys. And, I did the most evil things in the world. I was the ultimate heel. I wouldn't sign autographs. I wouldn't take pictures. I did the nastiest stuff I could ever think of in the ring, and people just cheered me like crazy. So it was nuts.
It definitely changed everything, and it was a catalyst for change in the wrestling industry, I think. And a huge change there was, too, the NWO so big, it spawned a lot of different spin-offs. For instance, out of WCW, in ECW, you had the BWO. Do you remember the BWO? Was that offensive or flattering that they were spoofing you guys?
What, the Blue World Order?
Yes, sir.
Was it with the Blue Meanie?
Yeah, the Meanie. That's my buddy, yeah.
Oh, I love that guy, man. He's awesome. I dug the hell out of it. It was great.
Oh, it was awesome. I grew up watching that in Philadelphia. I mean, it was hilarious. It was well thought out. It was just good stuff. Now, moving along, I mean, you look at WWE now, and I feel like there's a lot of changes in the locker room, from the guys on the roster to, Vince slowing down a little bit and Triple H starting to take over the reins. Now, as a wrestler, do you find it easier to work for a wrestler or a promoter?
Well, the first thing they're dead wrong about, is
Vince slowing down? Yeah.
So I don't care what anybody says, he's running harder than ever. Believe me. When I'm around him, I'm ready to tap after about 18 hours. He just doesn't take a break. So he's I call him invincible, because I've never seen him yawn. I tell him you must go in the bathroom to change the battery in your forearm or something. But he runs harder than ever. And as far as Triple H goes, I never really had a chance to get to know him when he was wrestling. But since he's basically locked in the business mode now, and he's basically guiding the ship, man, he's smooth, brother. He's he makes things easy to, like, let's just say if Vince and I had an argument over anything, whether the sun was out or whether it was raining or whether I got the right money or not, Triple H is so smooth. He comes in and he just really understands how to handle talent, how to make deals work. He's got a great vision, man, for this business.
I'm very excited to see where that vision takes us as fans, as you guys in the industry. It'll be an exciting ride, I'm sure. Now, Hawk, before I let you go, since we're talking about WrestleMania Special, the world premiere, this Sunday night on NBC, and that goes down at 7 o'clock. Hawk, before I let you go, I want to know, you've been in a lot of WrestleMania matches. You helped make WrestleMania. What's your favorite WrestleMania match of all time? I have my guess. I think I know, but I want to hear it from your mouth.
Favorite WrestleMania match has to be Andre, brother. I
kind of figured that would be the answer. Well, thanks again for visiting with us, Hawk. We always appreciate your time, and be safe. Anything you want to leave us with?
You know the deal. August 3rd, this Sunday, NBC, WrestleMania. Watch.
Definitely will. And, you can follow Hulk Hogan at Hulk Hogan on Twitter. Of course, I'm always available to talk wrestling, too. I love talking wrestling with you guys at the TheBrian Soscia. hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think of the interview or just want to chat. Let me know. But don't forget, you can always hear more of our interviews and see some, too. We have some in studios. We have a lot of cool stuff. Just hit the subscribe button. We're always updating with exclusive interviews and your favorite wrestling superstars right here on YouTube. So I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Thanks for giving me a couple minutes of your day.